My name is Andrea Lorenz from the East Grand Forks Campbell Library, and today I'm going to show you how to do tissue paper painting. If you picked up a kit at the library, you have almost everything that you need, but if you are just joining us and you want to do this at home, here are the supplies. You will need some kind of a canvas or a piece of thick paper like watercolor paper. You will need a white crayon or a white oil-based paint marker. You might want a pencil and an eraser. You'll need water and a paintbrush. And last but not least, you're going to need some bleeding tissue paper squares. So these I specifically bought as an art supply, but some tissue paper does bleed color out on its own when put in water, and some does not. So you could test and see what you have at home. So what we're doing is essentially a form of watercolor resist art. So we're using our wax crayon or our oil-based marker, paint marker, to create a design on our canvas or a piece of paper, and then we're going to put tissue paper on top of it and get it all wet, and what we end up with is something like this. So this is a snowflake with some blue and purple watercolor, or this is done with the oil-based paint, and yeah, I did some writing on there. All right, so the first thing you want to do is decide what you want as a design on your canvas. So stop the video right now and do some sketching, or transfer your design immediately onto the canvas using either your crayon or your oil-based paint. All right, so if you have your design all picked out and you drew it on a piece of paper, I want to show you a cool way that you can transfer your art onto your canvas without a whole lot of effort. Okay, so here you can see I've got my design all written out, drawn on this piece of paper, and what I'm going to do to transfer this to my canvas is flip this paper over, and I'm going to use just a regular pencil, and I'm going to make a big splotch of pencil all across the back of my drawing, making especially sure that I get the parts where my drawing is. So you can see there's not a lot here, but I need to make sure that I get over here. Alright, when that's done and you have pretty good coverage, what you're going to do is you're going to keep your pencil in your hand, you're going to put your canvas down, you're going to put your drawing pencil side down, and then you're going to trace over top of what you drew. And you're going to push a little bit harder than you normally would. And you're going to trace the parts of the design that you want on your canvas. I don't think I need as much detail on here as I drew on the picture, but I want to get the main elements for sure. And you'll always have the picture to reference back to when you do something like this. Okay, so I'm going to lift this off, and you can see very, very faintly that my image has transferred onto the paper. So I didn't have to do a second drawing at all, and this is faint enough where I will be able to cover over it all with either crayon or oil-based paint marker. Once you have your image transferred onto your canvas and covered with either oil-based paint marker or crayon, and you do want to make sure that you push pretty hard with the crayon so you can get a pretty good covering. You can kind of see I did my moon phases on here of wax, because that's what's going to create the white part of your picture. And I broke mine. No shame, it happens. All right, so when you're ready to start putting your color onto your picture, I kind of separated out the colors that I wanted for my image. What you're going to do is you're going to take your paintbrush and you are going to brush some water onto the place where you want to set your color, and then you are going to brush over top of that tissue paper. And you can do this wearing gloves if you would like, because I would recommend against touching the tissue paper after it becomes wet. It will stain your fingers. I learned that the hard way. All right, so you're just going to keep going. You want to cover your entire canvas with tissue paper. Okay, so I have both of my tissue paper creations completely covered with tissue paper and water, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set them aside and let them dry. And I'm going to let them dry completely. You'll be able to tell when the tissue paper is dry completely. It'll start curling up at the edges, and you can just brush it off right into the garbage. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and let these dry, and then we'll come back and see what we've got. All right, we're back, and here I brushed off all of the tissue paper, and you can kind of see our final creations. So I hope you enjoyed this. Have a great day.